Hi there, and welcome on the journey to transform culture. I'm Steve, and I'll be your guide. Well, folks, today let's jump into a topic: engagement. I know we've kind of melded engagement into other videos in some subtle ways, and no, I'm not talking about becoming engaged. That's not what I'm talking about. Talking about engagement between leaders and their teams at different levels, and of course, teams with their leaders. You know, I guess traditionally what you often see is whether it be a site leader or a GM, somebody who's essentially over a particular area of responsibility, so to speak, that the engagement, and this isn't true for every case, so don't get too spun up about it, right? But you do see this. We get caught in routines. Oftentimes, people get caught in routines. Well, I've got the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, blah, blah, blah meetings. I've got the X, Y, and Z on different days. And before it's all said and done, the week is chopped up into so many pieces that a leader has got very little time to devote to engagement with the broader team. So what ends up happening is then you have the department leaders engaging with the teams, which they should also be doing, right? Not taking anything away from that priority or that necessity as being very important. And then you have some of them obfuscating some of their engagement with the team to the supervision, right? And some supervision, because they can become inundated as well. They're usually putting out the greatest amount of fires. So that becomes obfuscated with team leads that are out amongst the broader team, who are then become the primary conduit, right? So you got this gate system. And while it might be in general a healthy thing, obviously, to have levels of oversight and all that sort of thing, depending on the size of your team, I cannot stress enough how absolutely self-undermining it is for the area or site leader if they're failing to engage with the broader team on a usual basis. Now, what we're not saying here is that you can spend all of your time in total engagement with your team. That wouldn't be practical, right? It wouldn't be practical to do that. We're not saying, you've got to get out there and half of your day has to be engagement, right? But you need to be strategic about planning to begin with into your week and get into a routine of inserting into those dead spots, right? Don't just sit in the lobby conversing with admin and just kind of, jacking our jaws, as we used to call it, jacking our jaws with HR and others, just blah 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 about stuff, right? No, if you're in the in between, what would you tell your team members if they were caught in the in between? You'd say, well, what else can we be doing to help the customers right now, right? And so I'm saying to you, one second. And so I'm saying to you is that you need to be able to ask yourself, what could I be doing right now to help the customer? Well, indirectly, and you may not even be thinking about it in this way, when you're engaging with your team, you're uplifting, motivating, inspiring, encouraging, building connections, finding out you're getting the inside scoop on some constraints that aren't helping them in their day, that they can't just stop and run and go tell someone. And quite frankly, most team members are apprehensive about approaching the site or area leader about things because some just think you don't care. That's just a fact. There's just no pretty way to put it. Some of them think you don't care, and the less you engage, the more that belief is reinforced that you don't care. Now, this is true in any relationship, not just organizationally, right? In culture itself. If customers aren't helped at the front when somebody comes in to buy products or service, if you're out, on your Saturday doing some things, what are you going to think? You're going to think, this organization, this business doesn't care about my business. They don't care about me as a customer, right? you're absolutely going to think that. And that's absolutely why the team members, they're overlaying the same notion onto you. And to be honest with you, is it fair? Not 100% fair, no, but probably 50-50. And why is that? What other choice do they have? If you're not engaging, if you're essentially putting yourself in a silo, hiding behind a wall of meetings and dealing with problems, what you'll end up doing is you become codependent on having things to do that interrupt engaging with your team. And it might be that some of you are just afraid to talk to people. You're afraid to hear people's opinions, to hear, well, this and well, that, and well, this and well, that. And there's times when some people do have to blow off a little bit of steam. Fine. But you know what? You're still going to get some nuggets of insight. And you can always find a solution or find ways to then alleviate some of their concerns, even if it's talking to them and explaining, well, this is really why this is going on. And it's probably my fault. I should have probably explained that better to you. I should have explained that better to you. And so I own that. And you have to do that. You've got to own those situations because you're not perfect. Even a site leader, you're not perfect. You're going to drop the ball. There are going to be mistakes you're going to make. Just own them. Own them. Say, you know what? I should have been out here checking up with you folks earlier. I meant to. I got tied up with some things. And then double down on your engagement, on your drive to engage with your team and to show them that you do care and show them that you're taking ownership and you're right there shoulder to shoulder with them in it with them and some of the things that they're struggling with, because their struggles are your struggles. And if you don't see their struggles as your struggles, well, that's a foul, because you're all one team. Ultimately, there is no us and them. There's always just us, right, on a team. So just wanted to touch base a little bit today on engagement. Whether you have to plan it initially to kind of get yourself in a routine, and then you'll find what you're going to find is the good nuggets that you get and the good things you can do for your team, and then you get resolve. Now you're going to be locked into that whole process, and you're going to feel, not only going to see the value in how they're productive and how they respond and how their energy comes up, because your energy's up. Now everybody's energy is up, and then you're going to get excited. They're going to get excited, and now your team's going to be having a little bit more fun too, right? And it's time, you can take some time to, be a little jovial with them and get to know them a little bit better too. Because the distance that you have between you and your team is only pushing them closer to the door. And if you're wondering why your turnover is 15 to 40%, depending on your industry, this is why. Because of lack of engagement. And lack of engagement is so massively impacting to what becomes poor organizational culture. So do yourself a favor, improve your organizational culture by engaging more with your team. It's the quality of the engagement, right? You need to increase the frequency, but you also need to make sure it's a quality engagement, right? Ask them, how's everything working for you? How are you doing today, right? It's about what they're doing and how are they doing. And then you'll get to not only know them better, but you'll be able to find opportunities to help solve some problems, okay? Help be a better problem solver as a leader in your organization. That being said, this applies whether you're the site leader or the department leader, the supervisor or the lead. There is no, staying in your silos and hiding from the team and their opinions about some things and their frustrations. We're in there to work through these things, not to hide from and sidestep them. All right, folks, that's enough on that topic for today. Remember to hit like, share, and subscribe, and hit that good domino 3 to 5 times a day to uplift, motivate, inspire, and just encourage folks. And when you do that, not only you're transforming culture in your organization and the culture at large, but you're also transforming yourself, and that's an amazing thing. All right, folks, well, until next time, take care.